This is training. We're doing training on the ESOP. Some of this we're going to do by repetition. We're creating a video though so that it's reviewable. We're an ESOP. This company is an ESOP. 30% of it's held. ESOP is Employee Stock Ownership Plan. That means that 30% of the stock in the company is held by all of the vested employees in the company. It's simple and it's complex. The simple side is to be a member of the ESOP, all you need to do is maintain employment. You come to work here, you qualify for entry into the ESOP at an entry date, and you stick around long enough to go through the vesting period. It doesn't take funds from you. It's a case of sweat equity. You're earning your way into it. And it's complex. It's complex that it took the people selling the stock, it took the employees who are maintaining the company, and it takes lawyers, CPAs, appraisers, and bankers in order to make and maintain it. So it can get pretty tricky. This video is for you. It's for you as an explanation of your benefits, and it's for you to review later at a later date on the Team Seaberg site. So it's available. And it's also a video for me. In case I talk too long, they can edit me out. So here we go. ESOP is a legal structure. It's set up for our protection, and it's legislated to protect us. And there are mandates that we have to follow in order to maintain that. The protection is for the structure itself and for the members, the individual members of the ESOP, to protect your interest in it. There's required steps that happen each year in order to maintain that. At the year end, we do a financial statement. We prepare for the previous year. We do this every year. We did this before we were an ESOP, and we do it now. Each year we take that financial statement after we've reviewed it, and we send it to an outside auditor. The auditor is a CPA firm. It could be any, but this year we're using Camp Kruger for considering it. They look at our structure and decide whether we're doing the things that we need to do for accuracy and also for proper recording. When they complete it, they send it back with an opinion that this is acceptable and they've done a good job looking at the previous year, whether it was a good year or not. This is taken by the trustee and sent to an outside firm for an appraisal. We do this appraisal every year, and they determine the value of the company. It's done every year because in case someone leaves or someone retires, it determines what the value of their holdings are for that year, and that's why it's done each year. When they complete the appraisal and have determined the value on a per share basis of the company, they give this back to the trustee. Not to the company. The trustee shares it with us, but specifically the trustee sends it off to a third-party administrator who does the work of managing the values of the ESOP. And in our case, it's Principal Financial Group. They're the ones that take the value, the basis value, that's the portion that's paid for each year, and they figure out what your percentage of the payroll is, and so they determine the allocations of shares that you receive in the ESOP. When this is completed, this is everyone's value. They report on it. The output of that report is the financial statement that we're going to look at. That's your value statement in the ESOP, and it's prepared each year. You'll get one for every year that you're here, and it shows your holdings at that time. The first page in the value statement shows what you had at the last statement, what you held before the allocations made for the last financial year. The next line is the 2016, in this case 2016 allocations. That is what portion of the company was paid for last year by the ESOP. They take the amount of the company that was paid for, and then they distribute it by allocation on a percentage basis of total payroll. And that's what you get. These are your shares in the company. The next line, the shares that were allocated by redistribution. That would be someone who did not vest, someone who quit, someone who retired, or even someone who passed away. In each of those cases, there would be shares brought back into the ESOP, and they're redistributed to the current members of the ESOP. The next element is the total of those. This is the total percentage of the company, your ownership
portion of Seabrook Industries in a share number. This line is the valuation result that was done by the outside firm that we used for doing the appraisal. In this case, it's Per Capital. They looked at the assets, the equipment we've got, and the building and stuff. They looked at the earnings of the company for that year, and they looked at what they expected would be the future earnings based on how the market is and how we're doing in it, what new business we've developed and how we perform in it. And they determined what the company might be sold for, and then they divide that by the number of shares, and that's how they determine the share value of the company. This line is the per share value times the number of shares that you have. It's your dollar ownership portion of Seabrook Industries. The next line is your vesting. It's a 6-year vesting plan. There's 20% vesting per year. The current percentage of entitlement to the total ownership. That is, if you're 40% vested, 40% of your holding in the company is yours right now. When you finish the vesting, it's all yours. The last line is the value of that percentage. That would be the portion that you're entitled to today. Rules govern all of these elements. We comply with all of the rules. We're tested and we answer for them. All of the data that governs us is in our summary plan description on the website, the Team Seabrook website, and this is available to you. I suggest you read it and understand it. It talks about how you're entitled to it and what the benefit works out like also, and the rules governing it. We're blessed to be a blessing. I think this is part of how we make a return on it. If the company succeeds, it's not for the benefit of one person. It's not for the benefit of the 5 owners that you currently have, plus the ESOP, but it's for all. It's for everybody. We're committed to this process, and we're committed to becoming 100% ESOP when the 30% is paid for. You all benefit from this if the company benefits from it. Take advantage of it, understand it, and support it. Thank you.